London, 1888. The air is thick with coal smoke, the streets slick with rain and secrets. In the shadows of Whitechapel, a phantom stalks the night. He doesn't just kill, he mutilates. He doesn't just vanish, he taunts. And more than a century later, we still don't know his name. Welcome to the Christian J Show, The Crime Chronicles. I'm your host, Christian J, and today we're diving into one of the most infamous unsolved cases in history, the story of Jack the Ripper. But this isn't just about blood and fog. This is about power, poverty, and the way society turns its back on the women it deems disposable. Let's begin. Between August and November of 1888, 5 women were brutally murdered in London's East End. Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, known as the Canonically Five. These women weren't just victims. They were symbols of a society that failed them. Each murder was more gruesome than the last. Throats slashed, abdomens mutilated, organs removed with surgical precision. The killer moved like a ghost, striking in the dead of night, vanishing before the bodies can blink. In the press, they ate it up. Jack the Ripper wasn't just a name. It was a brand, a myth, a monster tailor-made for headlines and hysteria. Now let's talk about that for a second. All of these women, you would think after the first woman, somebody would be like, okay, you know what, this has to stop. Something's going on. We need to figure out what's going on. The first 2 women, I would say. If 2 women done got murdered already, somebody should say, well, you know what? We need to start looking into this. We need to see what's going on. But that's how society is. Nobody checks on the women until it's one of theirs. I'm gonna even go a step further. When it comes to black women, nobody checks on black women. Nobody cares about black women. Black women are the most unprotected and disrespected person in America. Do people care about them? No, they don't. They don't care about them. Society will sit there and dog a black woman out, but then want the black woman to help them out. That doesn't work like that. You can't dog somebody out, then you want them to help you. You can't do that. You can't. And I know y'all gonna be like, wait, this has nothing to do with black women. Well, we're talking about women today. We're talking about how society has failed women. Back then, and to this day, society is still failing women. And if I want to talk about how society fails black women, I will. Because I have a black mother. I have a black grandmother. I have a black best friend. So, I'm surrounded by black women. So I'm going to sit up here and speak about what's going on with black women and how society is disrespecting black women because I see it firsthand. I'm a black man, and I see how society treats black women. I see how they will dog a black woman out, but then want the black woman to help them out. Like this is this is Make-A-Wish. Like I'm gonna throw a penny in the fountain. Okay, I'm gonna make a wish on this. Okay, I wish the black woman would help us. Boop. Okay, you make that wish. It goes in the fountain. Your wish comes true. They help you out. Then tomorrow, you sit up there and dog the same black woman that helped you out. You dog them out because they're nothing to you now. You only use them for your personal gain. And we are seeing it now. Let's talk about how y'all want Kamala Harris to do this such and such and such. But you didn't elect her. You want the black woman to come save you, but you want to talk down about the black woman like you're above black women. Doesn't work like that. But that part over with. Let's get into the victims. Now, like I said, we're not going to sit up here and sugarcoat anything. Like I said, like I always say, I have my script right here. Make sure I am accurately correct. Now, let's strip away the myth. Forget the fog, forget the top hat and cloak. This isn't a Sherlock Holmes fantasy. This is a butcher's gallery. And the women, they weren't just victims. They were discarded lives in a city that never looked back. Now, if this gets too graphic for you, feel free to pause and come back at a later time, because it's going to get graphic. That's what I've found out and what I put in my notes and then put in my script. Yeah. It's weird and it's crazy. Let's start with Mary Ann Nichols. Her body was found on Bucks Row. Throat slashed twice. Abdomen ripped open. She had 5 kids. She was trying to get her life together, but London didn't care. She was poor. She was a woman. She was expendable. Annie Chapman, murdered behind a house on Hanbury Street. Her uterus was removed. Let that sink in. It was removed. Like she was a specimen. She'd been sick, drinking to numb the pain, but she was still trying to survive, still trying to hustle. Elizabeth Stride, her death was quick. Just the throat, no mutilation. Some say the Ripper was interrupted, but Elizabeth already lived a life of trauma. She was a Swedish immigrant. She was abused, tossed aside. Her death was the final insult to injury. At this point, we had to kill her. But she already been through enough, and then you go slicing her throat. Seriously. Catherine Eddowes was found in Mite Square. Anyway, Mite Square. I don't know. Man. Oh well, we don't know how to. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, might read, might write. If I cannot pronounce it, oh well, I am sorry. Her face carved up, her kidney taken, her apron left as a calling card. She was a poet, a dreamer. But the dreams didn't pay the rent in Whitechapel. The final woman, Mary Jane Kelly. She was the youngest one, 25. Her body was found in her own room. Throat cut to the spine. Face unrecognizable. Organs everywhere. It wasn't a murder, it was a massacre. The Ripper took his time. He made art out of agony. These women weren't just statistics. They were survivors. They were mothers, lovers, fighters. And the Ripper didn't just kill them. He erased them. Like they were nothing. Like they didn't matter. So who was Jack the Ripper? I don't even have anything to say after the murders. I don't. I don't have anything to say because there's nothing you can say at that point after murders or anything. There's nothing you can say. Was Jack the Ripper a surgeon, a butcher, a member of the royal family? Over 100 suspects have been named, from Polish immigrants to Prince Albert himself. Some say it was a woman. Others believe it was a conspiracy. Really? A conspiracy? So a conspiracy ripped out her uterus. Okay, yeah. But here's the truth. We don't know. And we maybe never will know. But the obsession, that's the real story. Jack the Ripper became a legend because he was never caught. He became a mirror for our fears, our fantasies, our failures. And let's be real, if these victims had been wealthy, white, and male, the case might have ended differently, but we all know they were women. So back then, especially in 1888, they thought women didn't know what they were doing. Women was just supposed to be cooks and mothers and wives. And some people want that to happen to this day, today. And to those people that want that to happen today, like, oh, you're just supposed to be the cook, be the wife, be the mother. You're not supposed to have an opinion and anything. I'm going to say, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. For real. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. Because first and foremost, half of y'all don't even, if we want to be honest, half of y'all, the same ones that say, oh, women should just do this, women should do that, half of y'all don't even do anything. Half of y'all don't even have jobs. Half of y'all don't even have jobs to have an opinion. Like, how you go sit up and say what women should be doing and you don't even have a job? And let's not all put on the jobs now, because we know them jobs don't be hiring. We know they don't be hiring. But how you come in there though? How do you come in there? Do you present yourself as a person that wants to work, or do you present yourself as somebody that doesn't give a damn? I'm thinking it's the second one. Because a lot of y'all don't present yourselves like, oh yes, I want to work. I want to work for this company. I want to work for that company. Now y'all present yourselves like, oh, I'm just here because they said I had to get a job. Okay. Yeah. But like I said, that back in 1888, they did not want women to have an opinion about anything. They barely want their woman to speak. And that's the way it is now with some of these people. They don't want their wives to say anything. They don't. They don't want their wives to have an opinion about anything. They don't. All their wives are supposed to do is stay home, take care of the children, cook, clean, while they go out and work. Or hold on, let me phrase that. While they go out and cheat. Because we know some of y'all be cheating. But then they'll get mad when the wife cheat on them. Like, how you mad? But you was cheating on yourself. You were cheating on yourself. Now you mad. You 38 hot. Oh, how dare she cheat on me? Child, go on somewhere. Yeah, people are crazy these days. Some men want their wives humble down. And not saying that doesn't go for the women want their man to be humble down too, because it could go a different way. It can also go a different way. The wife could want their husband to be the cook, the clean, the maid, as some would say. They would want their husband to do all that while they go out and work. I mean, granted, it's not as common as the husband want the wife to do all that, but it happens. It does. Jack the Ripper didn't just haunt London. He haunted history. He inspired books, films, and Halloween costumes. Now, if you're behind dressed up as Jack the Ripper for Halloween, or any type of killer for Halloween, outside of, I would say, like Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, or who else? Chucky, or any movie horror villain, those are acceptable. But if you're behind sister being dressed up as Jack the Ripper or the Zodiac Killer or Ted Bundy or John Wayne Gacy, you deserve an ass whooping. You really do. You do. And like everyone was saying last year for Halloween, when these people were dressing up as the Menendez brothers. Like, why are you doing that? And it's not even the way. Like, you couldn't just dress up. They couldn't just dress up as them though. They couldn't just like put on shorts, a polo shirt. You know how they would have the little, like the golf. You know, like the sweater tied around their neck and everything. They couldn't just dress up as that. They had to add blood. Like, it's one thing to dress up as the Menendez brothers. It's one thing to do that. But then it's another thing to add blood to it. Blood on the shirt and the shorts and everything and on the hands. But, But what gets lost in the fog is the misogyny. The way society still blames women for their own deaths. The way we sensationalize killers and forget the killed. This just isn't a Victorian horror story. It's a warning about who we choose to remember and who we choose to forget. That's it for today's episode of the Crime Chronicles. If this story shook you, good. They should have. Because the Ripper may be gone, but the systems that let him thrive, they're still here. Next week, we're traveling. We're moving over to Lizzie Borden on Wednesday. And on November 1st, we will be talking about George Reeves. If you don't know who he is, he was Superman. So we're going to be talking about him and Lizzie Borden next week. So, until then, stay sharp, stay loud, and remember, the truth is never just black and white. It's blood red.